Good afternoon, everybody. This is Ian Andrews from Oakwood Physiotherapy and Wellness Centre. I just wanted to share with you a bit of an insight into our own experience with MBST. We've been using MBST now for probably 8 weeks, 10 weeks, probably about 4 of those weeks prior to the current situation here and the lockdown. Just wanted to share with you a few of my experiences, which are very positive. And I think it's interesting to know where we've come, where we've been as a group of people, and this is very, very interesting for patients alike. My initial interest came along with the MBST. We had a patient who had severe arthritis in both knees. We tried conventional physiotherapy, we did strengthening, we did corticosteroid injections, we did hyaluronic acid, strengthening, mobilizations, all the usual form of rehabilitation and physiotherapy. Sadly, her love and her passion in life was to walk and go exploring, and that's where she felt most at home. I had no hesitation in referring her onto one of the best knee surgeons that I've come across and saved more elite sports people's careers than anybody else I know in Bristol. I referred the patient down there, and he said, listen, we've come as far as we can do surgically. There's nothing I know of that's any better than MBST. He had no hesitation in referring her on, or at least suggesting that she get herself booked in with James Scrimshaw over in Bristol. Now, this is no sort of lightly taken task, because she works at a high level finance, so she had to take a week out of work. And that's, everybody that's involved in business knows that's a huge expense and huge time more than anything else. She came back to see me a few months later for a different problem. And she came in and I said, so, whatever your name is, I'm not going to disclose, how's your knees? She said, well, actually, I'm not here to see you about my knees. It's something else. I said, well, that's really interesting. So, how are your knees? She said, well, to be honest, she said, after my referral down to Bristol, she said, all I can say is, Ian, don't take this the wrong way. She said, Ian, it's the best thing I've ever done. It's changed my life. I've got my life back. And even though the stuff you did was good, this was life-changing. This was how I hoped things would be when this journey began. That really did prick my interest. I thought, well, okay, there's a gap in here, there's a gap in knowledge, there's a gap in availability, I need to know more. So that prompted me to have a bit of an intensive research and study the research, which was very interesting. The research ranged from very strong analytical research projects that looked at non-human tissue in a laboratory testing, which generally ended up with no significant improvement can be found. However, the qualitative stories of people that actually live and function were very different. It's a very different story they painted, and they couldn't wax lyrical about how important this was for people to know about, because it had changed their lives in the ways that I'd heard just previously. This led me on to a different approach. Thought, right, okay, it's nice to know about things, it's nice to hear about things, but I need to know more. So after conducting what was a very extensive research trawl, I then started speaking to the people directly at MBST UK, at Liz, Anne Claire, Charlie, inspirational characters over in Stamford at MBST UK. That's where they've had 10 years of research. They've had 10 years of successfully treating patients from all different backgrounds over a long period of time. And these people are straight, genuine, wonderful people. And they assured me, and they told me the stories of what went on, and I thought, this is just incredible. I've got one of the best knee surgeons in the world telling me there's nothing he could do better than using MBST. I've got patients telling me firsthand that this is the way forward. I had no hesitation in getting involved. That's where the fun really started, because we've had now probably 5 weeks of treating patients. We've seen 33 patients. We've had we've seen 9 intervertebral disc problems. We've had 6 arthritic shoulder problems. We've had 5 double knee OA problems, and a whole host of other different issues that presented our way. And in the initial stages, where people presented really highly with high VAS scores, low mobility, low function, with only after 4 or 5 treatments of MBST on the arthrospinflex, they've been literally getting up and their colours return back to their cheeks, and they've been painting a very different picture. I understand and completely aware that this is very early stages right now, but the initial response taken by our patients has been nothing more short of miraculous, and I'm very cautious, because the journey that we're on all together is that we're with the patients. We don't send them out saying, well, let me know how you go. We're with them on that journey every step of the way. We're here for the long term, we're not here for the short term, so it's our reputation and our involvement that's completely of the highest importance. I can wholeheartedly suggest from where we are right now that this is only the beginning. Only recent research coming out of Manchester University by a Chinese professor that's stating that there's a pharmacological route back into treating and maybe reducing the effect of arthritic and degenerative conditions. It's on exactly the same pathway that the MBST is working along. It's to do with the obviously the rhythm, the circadian rhythm, the frequency at which, the angle of which these protons and neutrons are forming together to form complete cell, which then builds on to form bigger units and bigger compartments. This is the reduction in the anti-aging, this is reduction in the degenerative condition, and this seems to be the way forward for me. From my perspective, for the first time, we can get involved with the origin of the problem rather than firefighting and treating the symptoms. I hope this has been of some use to everybody. Any further information, please do not hesitate to contact me at Oakwood Physiotherapy, or the guys over at Bristol, London, Potter's Bar, or over obviously in Bristol. We've got a very positive experience, and we're delighted to be part of the MBST family. Thank you very much, Anne. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Charlie. Speak soon. Ian. Bye-bye.